Anyone who has got the answer, the values of T1 and T2? C. One answer I have C. Anyone else? Okay. Two answers. C, C. Okay. This is the correct answer. C is the correct answer for this question. See, all those who have not solved this, just see on the screen. Now, in this question, yesterday also the same figure we had, but the only difference here is we are having here a friction force now. So, like yesterday only, suppose this is the net force downward due to gravity, so it will be 10 G, so that is 100. In on this, it will be 60. Okay. Now, the net force on the system is 40. Okay. Now, if the net force on this due to this and this is 40. Now, there will be also a force due to this friction. Suppose if this 10 kg block moves down with acceleration A, okay, downward direction. So there will be a friction in this direction. Okay, there will be a friction in this direction. So there will be total force, okay, that is 100, 60, and the frictional force will be how much? 20. Okay, the frictional force on this will be 20. So now the net force on the system will be how much? 100 minus 60 minus 20, and this is the net force, net unbalanced force on the system. Okay, so this is 20 Newton. Now, because of this 20 Newton, what will happen? This body will move down. Okay, so what? So if you see this, okay, if you see this body, so if you see this body, so I can write net force on it 100 minus T1 is equals to 10 into A. Now, A value, how can we calculate? A value I can calculate from here. So I will write mass of the system into acceleration. So what you have to do now, you have to calculate acceleration from here. You have to calculate the acceleration from here, okay? And then you substitute this acceleration here. And then you can get the value of T1, okay? So this was a simple question. I'm leaving this question now. Everybody understood this? So this is your second question, okay? It is similar to that. The only thing is the difference in system. It is the same question. In this, you have to find out the range of M. Range of M. Now, let me give you the hint in this question. Whenever you have a questions where you have to find out the range, okay? Whenever you have to find out the range of M, okay? So in such questions, what you have to do, you have to move the block on both the sides. So suppose here in this question, you have one block here and one block here. So first, what you will assume that this mass is moving downward and this mass moves up. So you will calculate one mass value using this configuration. Okay. Now, second, what you will do, you will assume that this block moves downward and this block moves upward. The second value of mass you will calculate from this, and then you will have two values of mass. Okay, so this will be the range. How do we calculate it in such question? So I have given you the hint. Okay, now it's your turn. You solve it. Just do fast. Anyone has got the answer for this question? Okay, I'll solve this question. Now see it. In this question, I have told you that whenever you have a range to solve, okay, what will be the range of mass so that this system is in equilibrium. So in that case, what you have to find out, you have to do that once you will take that the mass here is the pulley. So what you will assume that this mass is moving downward, you will calculate one mass corresponding to this. And another case, what you will do, you will assume that this mass is moving upward, and then you will calculate the mass. So in this question, when I assume the first case, okay, this first case, when I assume here, so what can I say? In this first case, it is saying that this mass is moving downward, okay. So in this case, if you see here, okay, see here that I am having mg here downward, okay. Then one force will be in this direction, okay, and that will be mg sine of theta. So mg sine 37. And what is the value of m here? M is 10. And what is g value? That is also I'm assuming 10. So this is 100. Okay. So 100 sine 37. Okay. Now because there is a friction also here. So if this block moves downward, okay, and this block moves upward, so I have a frictional value, friction force also here. So this is friction also. So now for this figure, what I can say that mg will be balanced by 100 sine 37 plus frictional force. Okay. Now mg I can write as 100 into 3 by 5 plus frictional force. Now what is the frictional force here? So F value I'm calculating here. It will be mu into m2 mu into 10 into 10 cos of 37. Okay, because normal reaction in this case will be what? Mg cos of theta. So when you solve this, so mu value is given to me as 0.5, okay, and this will become 100 into 4 by 5. Okay, so this is 20 into 880, and this becomes 40 now. Okay, 40, and this is here 60. So mg is equals to 60 plus 40, and that is 100. Now mass from here, what I'm getting is 10 kg. Okay, so when I do the calculation, okay, assuming that the mass is moving downward, this mg is moving downward, so one mass I'm getting as 10 kilogram. Okay, now when I assume that the mass, this mass moves upward, so for that I have to do another calculation. So in that case, second case, what you will do for the second case, when this mass is moving upward, so this mass has to move downward. This mass will move downward. In that case, the friction force in this case will be upward. Okay, so let us see what will happen here. So 60 force will be still acting downward, which will be the driving force. Okay. Now, the friction force will be acting in opposite direction, that is 40 plus mg. Okay. Now, from here I can solve that 20 is equals to m into 10. This implies mass is 2 kg. Okay. So what is the range of the mass? It is from 2 to 10 kg. Understood? Just see here, and this was a like different question, little bit. So just see if anybody is having doubt in this, please let me know in the chat. I'm keeping the screen like that for a few seconds. If anybody is having any doubt in this question, please ask. Yes, anybody is having any doubt in this? Shall I move forward? Next question. Okay. Now this is the second question. What we have is here. Find the range of f so that both objects travel in combined form. The question is, find the range of f so that both objects travel in combined form. Take a time of 1 minute and try to solve this. This is not a new question. So many times you people have solved this kind of questions. Yes, any answer? Okay, see this question. Now this question says that find the range of f so that both objects travel in combined form. So the force is applied on the upper block, and it is said that both the blocks should move together. That means there should be no relative motion between 4 kg block and 6 kg block. Now, by seeing this question, first thing you should know that if the block has to move, so in that case, it has to overcome the friction force which is offered by this ground. Okay. So first thing I can say that force must have at least a minimum value, okay, or it should be greater than or equal to the frictional force offered by the ground. Okay, the static friction value. Static friction value. The force must be greater than that or equal to that. Now, for equal to condition, it will be the minimum. So let us find what is the static friction value offered by the ground. So static friction value offered by the ground. So what I can write? Mu mg. Okay. Now I have mu value and I have mass given to me, and g value, you can use as 10. So if you use this, okay, so what I'm getting 0.1, mass will be 10 and 10. So the static friction value is 10 Newton. So this is the minimum force which is required by this force to move the blocks together. Okay, to move this block together, at least this much force is required. So this is my minimum value. Okay, this is my minimum value. Now for the upper limit, if I have to solve, now in this case, what you see, just check here, that suppose there is a relative motion. So this block, this 4 kg block moves on the 6 kg block in forward direction. So if it is moving in a forward direction, so there will be a frictional force on this in backward direction. Now, if there will be a frictional force on 4 kg block in backward direction, so by third law, there will be a frictional force on this 6 kg block due to 4 kg block. Understood? So now how many forces are there on the 4 kg block? So I'm drawing here the FBD for the 4 kg block. Okay. FBD for 4 kg. So for 4 kg, if you see here, so one force is here, okay, and one frictional force is here. And under the combined effect, it can move with the acceleration A. Fine. So net force, this F value, what I can write? F minus frictional force is equals to M into A. Okay. Now frictional force, this value, F value, how I'll find? It is mu into 4 into 10 is equals to 4 into A. Now mu value is given to me. The mu value is given to me as 0.5 here in the question. So F value is 0.5. So this becomes 20 is equals to 4A. Now I have to find out acceleration value. Okay, I have to find out acceleration value here. So how do I find out the acceleration value? We'll calculate from this 10 Newton force. We'll calculate from this 10 Newton force. So from here, 10 Newton I can write as M into A. Okay, for this 6 kg block. So it will become 10 by 6 is equals to A. So this is my acceleration. Okay, this is from the FBD of 6 kg block. Now substitute this acceleration here. Substitute this acceleration here, and what you'll get? 4 into 10 by 6 minus plus 20. You'll get plus 20. So you solve it. So this will become 20 by 3 and 20. So it will become 80 by 3. 80 by 3. So one force value I'm having as 10 by 3 and one force value is 10 here. So the range of force will be from 10 Newton to 80 by 3 Newton. So I'm leaving this screen like this. Okay. If you have any doubt in this question, just let me know in the chat. Yes, anybody is having any doubt in this? Okay, I'm moving on to the next question. This is the next question you have. Okay, this is the next question. Read this question carefully. Okay, there's a lengthy question, but it is very easy to solve. See, this question says, I'll summarize this question, what it is saying actually. You have an inclined plane which is fixed, and on that plane, you have a prism of mass m1. On that prism, you have a block kept of mass m2. Now, in this case, this surface is smooth. Okay, this surface, what is given to you in this question, this surface, okay, this is a smooth surface. Okay, this is a smooth surface. This surface is rough. Now you have to calculate for the acceleration and the value of friction. Friction between this block and this surface. Here you have to calculate the friction coefficient of friction. Okay. So these two values you have to check. I guess everybody has understood the question. I'll again summarize this question. There is a fixed block, inclined plane, on which there is a prism of mass m1, and the surface, the contact between prism and the smooth, this inclined plane is smooth. There is a block of mass m2 kept on the prism, and the surface is rough. So what you have to do in this question is, you have to find out the acceleration of the prism. Okay, that is what it is asking in option A and B, the acceleration of the prism. And in option C and D, okay, it is asking about the mu minimum value. Okay, minimum value of the coefficient of friction. So these kinds of question you'll be having in JEE Advanced, okay, where you'll be asked to calculate at least 2 to 3 options. Okay, here in this question you have to check for two values, one for the acceleration of the prism and the second for the mu minimum value. Okay, so let us start this question. Now this is the system actually what is given to me. Okay, now in this question, see here, there is a mass with this prism m1. Okay, so if there is a mass with m1, then definitely there will be a motion of this block m1, this prism m1 in downward direction, as there is the contact is smooth. So definitely I can say that this mass, this m1 prism will move downward, okay, with the acceleration g sine theta. G sine theta, fine, due to gravity force. G sine theta will be the downward acceleration on this. Now I have to check for m2 mass. Now here we have a concept of pseudo force. Okay, pseudo force will be involved here. Why? Because there is a change of frame. Now you see here that m2 has to be at rest. Okay, if you see here, the block does not slips. The block does not slips. Okay, so if the block does not slips, that means there has to be a pseudo force acting on that. So where will the pseudo force act? Where will the pseudo force act? Yes. This is the question for you all, that in which direction the pseudo force on M2 should act such that it should be at rest. Anyone who can answer this question? What should be the direction of pseudo force on M2 so that it should be in rest? Anyone? Yes, I'm waiting for the answer. At least one answer, anyone? Yeah, on M2. Sabha, I'm asking on M2, what should be the direction? I'm asking the direction. The pseudo force will act on M2, but I'm asking the direction. Same. In same direction. Oliver. Same direction of G sine theta. You are saying that. Yes. Oliver, will it be in the same direction of G direction? Okay, one answer I got, opposite direction. Okay, correct. Yeah. Correct. I've got 2-3 answers from Ramani, Tarun. Okay. It will be in the opposite direction. Okay. Opposite direction of G sine theta in this direction. Okay. So now the value of this will be, if you see here, so it will be M2G sine of theta. Now, I can break this M2G sine theta in two components, along x-axis and along y-axis. Okay. So along x-axis, this will be also theta angle. So along x-axis, I can write it as M2G sine theta into cos theta. Okay. For this vertical component, I can write M2G sine theta into sine theta. Okay. Now, on this M2, one more force is acting, which is Mg downward. Now, the normal reaction on M2, what it will be? Mg minus M2G sine square theta. This is the normal reaction. Okay. Now, again, one question I am asking you people here, that suppose M2 slips. Okay. Suppose M2 is slipping on M1. So which force is responsible for it? Is it the vertical component or is it the horizontal component? Yes, anyone? If M2 is slipping on M1, which force is responsible? Is it the vertical component of the pseudo force or horizontal component of the pseudo force? Anyone? Will it be horizontal component or vertical component? Horizontal component, correct. So it will be the horizontal component that will be responsible for the slipping condition. Okay. So now what I can do is that M2G sine theta cos theta. Okay. M2G sine theta cos theta is responsible for slipping now. So the slipping should not be there. So this has to be countered by the friction force. Suppose if it is slipping, suppose if this mass is slipping, so there will be a counter force in this direction. Okay. So that is friction value. Okay. A static friction value. Do you understand this, everyone? So now this static friction value will be what? Mu into N. Okay. And N value we have already calculated here. So what will be the value now? Mu. Okay. N value is M2G. This is 2 here actually. So M2G I'm taking common. M2G I'm taking common. In bracket, you'll be having 1 minus sine square theta. Here you are having M2G sine theta cos theta. Now, you tell me what is the answer for mu now. I want you people to solve it from here and tell me the answer for mu. Okay, tan theta, one answer I got. Only one answer I have got till now. All those who have found out mu value, just tell me out of A and B, okay, what is the acceleration of the prism here? What is the acceleration of the prism here? Because you had to check for two things. One is mu value, one is for the acceleration of the prism. You had to check two values here. One, coefficient of friction value and acceleration of the prism. So mu value will be tan theta, I got one answer. And what will be the prism acceleration of the prism here? It is right in front of you on the screen. Acceleration of the prism. I got only one answer. Okay. See here. This M2G you can cancel. Yeah, G sine theta, correct. G sine theta will be the acceleration. So this 1 sine square theta you can write as cos square theta. So mu value will be sine theta cos theta by cos square theta. So this gets cancelled and you are getting tan theta. Okay. So coefficient of friction is tan theta, which is given in option D. Okay. Acceleration of the prism is G sine theta, but here I am having G cos theta and G tan theta. So which is wrong. So only option D is correct for this. Okay. So just I'm leaving this question. Okay. If anybody has not copied or wants to write anything, you just see it. And next I'm moving to the next question. Okay. So this is your second question here. This is your second question here. Okay. Now this question says two bodies of mass m and 4m are attached with a string as shown in the figure. Okay. The body of mass m hanging from a string. This is a string. Okay. This hanging from a string of length L is executing oscillation of angular amplitude theta naught while the other body is at rest. Now here, check it here. The other body is at rest. While this is oscillating, the other body is at rest. The minimum coefficient of friction between the mass 4m and the horizontal surface should be. Okay, this is what it is asking now. Okay, so how we have to see do this question? Just see. The question is, I'm explaining this situation here. The question says that this angle is theta. Okay, the angular amplitude is theta. The angular amplitude is theta. And this mass 4m is at rest. This is not moving, this is at rest. This is at rest. So if this block is at rest, okay, and there will be a tension force which will try to pull it. This tension force will try to pull it, and this force will be countered by the frictional force. This frictional force will counter that tension. So this frictional force I can write as 4mg, correct? So for this block, for this 4 kg block, if I write down the FBD, if I draw the FBD, so FBD for 4 kg. So I can write tension must be equal to mu 4 mg. Okay, this is my first equation. Okay, this is my first equation here. Fine. Now if you check this question, that this next mass of small m is doing SHM. If it is doing SHM like this, and here at point A and B, so here the velocity will be v, here the velocity will be 0. So I can say that mgh is getting converted into half mv square here. Okay, so gets cancelled, v value will become 2gh. Okay, 2gh. Now what is actually h here? H is this height. H is this height. H is this height. Now I have to calculate this height. So if this string is of length L, so we know that, okay, we know that V square I can write as 2gL 1 minus cos of theta. The value of V square I can write as 2gL within bracket 1 minus cos of theta. Now this particle, this m mass is doing angular SHM. Okay, so I can assume this to be in circular motion. Okay, approximately circular motion, and I can write, so what I'm assuming here, that assuming mass m is performing circular motion. Okay, then I can write this tension T. Okay, tension T minus mg, okay, will be equal to mv square by L. Okay, mv square by L. This is what I can write here. Now I have the tension value from equation 1. I'll substitute, that is mu 4 mg minus mg is equals to m by L into v square, and v square value, okay, v square value substitute from here to here. So mg is here, m gets cancelled. Okay, so I'm having here mu 4g minus g is equals to v square value will be what? 2gl by L 1 minus cos of theta. Okay, from here g and g gets cancelled, L also gets cancelled. Okay, so you will be having here 4 mu minus 1 is equals to 2 minus 2 cos of theta. So mu will become, this 1 goes that side, so it will become 3 minus 2 cos of theta, okay, divided by 4. So this is the answer for this question. Okay, just check this solution. Okay, let's check this solution here. Anybody is having doubt, so let me know in the chat. Yeah, Oliver, you got correct, D option. Yeah, it's correct, D option is correct. Anybody else who got D option? Yes, anybody else who got D option? Okay, so this was this one question. Okay, now, okay, you also got correct, good. This is the second question, next question. It says a block starts sliding on an inclined plane of angle alpha with the horizontal. The friction coefficient depends on the distance x covered as mu is equals to kx, where k is a constant, the distance covered by the object till it stops. Now, if you see this question, okay, so you will find that mu depends upon x here. Mu depends upon x. And what you have to calculate, the distance covered, okay, you have to find out the distance covered by the object till it stops. So just see this question, okay, see this question, and I'm going to solve it. Read it carefully once. Okay, now let us start this question. Now this question says that a block starts sliding on an inclined plane. So we have an inclined plane here, okay, and we have a block. We have a block here, and this block starts sliding downward, okay, it starts sliding, and the angle is alpha. This angle is alpha given to me. So if it starts sliding downward, so it will have an acceleration as g sine alpha. It will have g sine alpha. Now, because there is a friction also, see here, there is a friction component also. So one friction force will also act in this direction. So acceleration or retardation value, whatever you say, either acceleration in opposite direction or retardation due to friction. So retardation due to friction, what I can write? Retardation due to friction, what I can write? I will be writing it as mu g cos of alpha, okay, because frictional force I can write as mu mg cos of alpha. So acceleration will be what? Divided by mass, so it will be mu g cos of alpha. Okay, so what will be the net acceleration here? Yes, what will be the net acceleration here? I can take out g common, and then I will be having sine alpha minus mu cos of alpha. And now mu value is given to me as kx. Mu value is given to me as kx. So I'll substitute this mu value here. So I will get g sine of alpha minus kx cos of alpha. This is acceleration. Okay. Now I have got acceleration here. Okay. And from acceleration, I have to find out distance covered. So can anybody tell me, can anyone tell me that what is the relation or how can I proceed from here? Okay. Anyone who can tell me this, that from acceleration, how we have to get distance or displacement? Anyone? Okay. Anyone? See, acceleration, I can write as v dv by dx. Whenever you have an acceleration and distance is asked, so always we use this equation. Okay, well, acceleration I can write as v dv by dx, and then I'm having g sine alpha minus kx cos of alpha. Okay, take this dx here, double differentiation. See, double differentiation, if I do, it has to be like double differentiation of displacement is acceleration. So from acceleration, I have to go to displacement. So double differentiation won't work. Rajavarman. Okay. So double differentiation won't work because from acceleration, I have to go to displacement. If I double differentiate displacement, then I will get acceleration. Okay. So what we have to do here is v dv dx, I will take that side. So it becomes g sine of alpha minus gkx cos of alpha into dx. Now you integrate this relation. You integrate it. So when I integrate it, so I'll write it as b square by 2 is equals to g sine alpha into x minus gk cos alpha x square by 2. Okay, now this is what I have now. Okay, this is I have velocity in terms of velocity. Now it says, just see this question, it stops the finally this velocity is 0. So I have a equation of where I have a velocity. So if I put velocity 0, okay, so can I calculate the displacement where velocity is 0? So just put this, equate this equation to 0. So when I equate this equation to 0 now, so just check what I am getting. I can take x common from here. I will write g sine of alpha minus gk cos alpha into x by 2 equal to 0. Now here I will get x is equals to 0 and g sine alpha is equals to gk, sorry, and g sine alpha minus gk cos alpha by 2 into x as 0. Okay, so from here this g and this g I can cancel it. Okay, and then I can get x is equals to 2 tan alpha by k. So one value of x, okay, one value of x I'm getting this, and one value of x I'm getting this. Now I have two values of x, so just see the significance. Velocity is 0. Velocity is 0 at 2 points, one when x is 0 and one when x is having 2 tan alpha by k. So this means at starting point only, the velocity of the particle is 0. The velocity of the particle is 0. So this is starting. This is a starting point, and this after some time. Okay, so our answer is this. So if you see the options, so I guess option A is correct for this. Okay, option A is correct for this. Okay, so what we'll do one last question. Okay, and after that we'll wrap it up. You just take the screenshot of this question. This is a easy question, this one. Just take a screenshot, everyone, and try to do on your own. Okay, this question you take as a homework, try to do on your own. This will require a concept of pseudo force. Yesterday we did one question, okay, where a sphere was kept in a cube, and that cube was having a velocity as respect to t. Okay, so this also is based on that only. So using that, if you take the help of that, you can solve this question. We'll come to this question. This is an important question. We'll wrap it up after this. Okay, this question. Just see this question. Here it is asking. Here it is asking two blocks A and B as are placed on a rough horizontal surface as shown in figure. So there is a figure attached to this question. It is something like this. This is B, this is A, and force F is acting like this. Okay, here actually the figure is drawn. Here is figure. So it is saying that two blocks A and B of same mass are placed on rough horizontal surface as shown in figure. force F is equals to Kt is applied on A. Okay, the force of friction on block A given with time for following graph, choose the correct one. Okay, choose the correct one. So this is the figure you have, and you have to draw the frictional force on A with respect to time. How is it going to change now? How it is going to change? Any answer? Yes. See this question. So we have one block B and one block A. Okay, they are connected together by a string, and a friction force F is acting. Force F is acting on it. Now the coefficient of friction is same, mass is same. Okay. Okay. So what will happen here actually, that this force, this F force has to first overcome mu mg that is offered by A. Okay. So till 0 to mu mg, this friction force will increase linearly. So if it is increasing linearly, so this option cannot be correct. This option cannot be correct. Okay. Now, after it has reached mu mg, okay, the block A is still at rest. Okay, and friction force F will be mu mg only on A. Now, as soon as this friction force becomes equals to 2 mu mg, then only both blocks move together. And when they move together, this friction force becomes kinetic friction and it reduces a little bit. Okay, so I can say that it will increase little bit, then it will be constant for a while, then it will again reduce, and then it will move. So the option is C. So with this question we'll wrap up this session. Okay.